we will be again starting the lecture. There was some issue regarding the network for the channel. So again, I am here for you. So we were with the topic of functions in C. That we were with. Now we will be again revising this topic. Some viewers are again new for the channel, so with the request I will be again revising this. So let's start. So we were with the functions. As we have seen, there are two types of the functions in the C: user defined function and built-in function. Up till now we have seen the programs where we have seen the built-in functions. We have used the main, we have used the printf, we have used the scanf also. So all those functions are the built-in functions provided in the C. Now our intention is to go for the user-defined function. These user-defined function will provide us the independency about how to manage the execution of a statement, which type of messages, which type of coding, or what result we want for that particular program. So by using this function, we can avoid rewriting the same logic and code again and again in the program. We can also call the C function any number of times in a program from any place in a program. We can also track a large C program easily when it is divided into a small functions. So C is a in C, a function is a set of statement that when called perform the some specific task. So here we have seen that it provides us the modularity and code reuse. Now why code reuse? Because here we can avoid rewriting the same logic again and again. Then we can also go for calling the C function any number of times in a program from any number of places. Then we can also track the large C program easily when it is divided into the small modules. So we can track right. So we call it as a modular and code reuse. These functions are enclosed in begin curly brace and end curly brace. We call this as a subroutine or a procedure. So to write a C function, we will be provided with the three aspects. The first one is the function declaration, then is the function definition, and third one is the function call. Let's see the declaration. Function declaration is same as the variable declaration. where it is declared. So it is declared where the variables are declared. So here in the function declaration, we specify the return type of a function, then a function name, and the list of the prototype. Prototype means what? Which type of parameters we want to pass to a function. Moreover, declaration and definition is also having some options with it that we will be revised after the simple declaration part. Now, when I want to declare this function, we will be using a syntax, return type, function name, and into bracket prototype. And so on, and a semicolon. Okay. For example, if I want to go for the addition of the two numbers, so I want to declare a function addition. This function will be having a return type integer. Name of my function is addition, and I want to go for passing the two integer parameter into it. So what is this? This is a declaration part. So what we are doing here, we are telling a compiler that we are using the function name addition to add two integer value and will return one integer value. Right? Then comes the function definition. Now the function definition is the, we can call it as a actual statements which we want to execute when a function is called. So this function definition is the actual or consists of, we can call it as it consists of statement which will be executed when the function is called. So a C function generally defined and declared in a single step because the function definition always start with the function declaration, so we do not need to declare it explicitly. A very important statement. A C function generally defined and declared in a single step because the function definition always start with the function declaration, and so we do not need to declare it explicitly. Actually, when we declare this particular function, so this declaration is where we declare the variables. So what we are doing here, we are explicitly telling a compiler that I want to use this function with this return type and some prototype with it. But when we directly write the function definition above the main, there is no need to declare the function here. So here no need to declare it explicitly. Directly writing the function definition gives the intimation to the compiler that this type of function is being used in the program. But when we define this function above the main, right? The syntax for the function declaration is definition is return type, the function name, and into bracket parameter list. Begin and end. Between begin and the statement comes which we want to execute. On the function call. Okay. Now this definition will be having one statement with it, which is a return statement. Now when to use this return statement? When the function have the return type. When your function has a return type, at that time we have to specify this return statement. How we will be look into the program. The next comes the function call. It is the call to the function which instruct the compiler to execute the function. So when we give a call to this function, actually this call will go to the function definition. Whatever is there in the function definition will be executed by the compiler. We use this function name and parameter list in the function call. So what we use here? We use the function name and the parameter list to call the function. Right? Let's see the example. Start of the program. Here we will be declaring two variables and one variable to store the answer. Now I am declaring here the function. The return type of my function is integer. The name of my function is, for example, sum, and my function will be accepting two integer parameters into it. So what is this? This is the function declaration. Now we will be accepting the two integer value from the user. Read those values. After this, now I will be calling a function. When we use this statement will be a call to the function. So this function is a definition of that particular function is outside the main. This is the function call. Now the definition of the function will be outside the main. Here I am declaring again one variable, for example result, and I am storing the addition into that particular result. Now as my function is having a return type here, so I have to use the return keyword. Return into bracket the value which you want to return. Now when we use this return statement, where the control of the compiler goes. So when we use this return statement, the compiler will return to the place from where it is called. So again it will go to the sum a comma b. Whatever result is there will be placed here. Now I want to catch this particular result into some user defined variable, for example ANS, which we have declared here. This answer gets stored into this variable, and now in the main we will be writing the message with the output. That's all. So this is how a simple C function for the addition of the two number is given. So here declaration comes where we declare the variable. Then function call. After the function call, your compiler control will be going to the place where you have written the function. Always remember, function definition is written outside the main. It can be after the main, it can be above the main. When I declare the function definition above the main, no need of this function declaration. That is the meaning of this statement. A C function generally defined and declared in a single step because the function definition always start with the function declaration, so we need to declare it explicitly. If I define here, no need of declaring here, right? So that is the meaning of that statement. Let's save this file. So we have compiled this program. Now we will run this program. So we entered the two numbers and we got the addition is equal to 7. So this is how a simple function is being written. Now, as we said that we can go for defining the function above the main also. So that also we will see the same program we will be just implementing. So the header file. Now first of all we will define the function and then we will make a main. Now in this case, this is the now no need of this function definition. Sorry, function declaration. What we did here in the main, we created two variables. We read the two variables from the user and we called the function. This particular call will go the compiler control to the function part. Here the function will be executing and again it is written from where it is called and we are printing it. So we are entering the values and we get the answer 11. So this is how we can write the function. So depending upon your flexibility, you can either declare the function or you can either directly write the definition above the main also. One more program we will go for, to write a function to print the table of a given number. Okay, now to write a function for the table of a given number, as usual, we will be first of all using the header file. Then we will be having a function, but I want the return type of my function as a void. Means what? My function is not going to return any value. Name of my function is a table, and I will be passing one parameter into it. Then begin and end. Then in a main, we will be declaring one variable. I want to read the number whose table I want to print. And here we are calling this function. In the function part, now this is what a call to a function. After this call, compiler will pass the control to the function. The value of num will be passed to the variable n. Here in this function, we will be writing a code to print the table. Now to print the table of a given number, here what will be we requiring here? Suppose the variable n, which I entered as a 5. Now I want to print the table of the 5. So the table of the 5 will be starting from 1 to the 10. So I require a counter which should go from 1 to 10. So I will be initializing this as to 1. And some variable where I want to store the result. So here I will be storing the result of the multiplication. So this particular execution of the multiplication should go 10 times. So here in the function, we will be declaring this variable, and we have already a count which will start with the 1 and a result, suppose res, where we will be storing the result. Now to use the loop part, so depends upon your flexibility. Either you can go for the while loop or you can go for the for loop. If I go for the for loop, no need of declaring this initialization of this CNT here. In the for, we can initialize the CNT to the 1. CNT should go up to 10 and CNT plus plus. Then here, when the CNT is 1, it will go to the condition part. CNT 1 is less than is equal to 10. Yes, begin. Now as I want to execute the multiple statement in the for, so we will be enclosing this for between begin and end. If there is a single statement, no need of begin and end of the for. But here I want to execute the two statements, one for the multiplication and another for printing the result. So here result is equal to your number into the counter. After this, I want to print the table. So printf in the format of %d into %d is equal to %d. /n new line character. Now at the place of first %d, n should be printed. At the place of second %d, counter should be printed. At the place of third CNT, the result should be printed. Right? And then we will save this program. We will compile this. Let's see any error is there or not. Right? So we will be running this now. It is asking for a number. I entered the number 6. So here we will be getting the table of a 6 here. So what is happening here? In the compiler, execution starts with the main. We will be reading a number here. Then table of num. Whichever number you read, for example, I read the num as 6, table of 6. This is the function call. From here, control will be directly going to the function. The copy of num will be stored into the variable n. In the function, we have declared two variables, cnt and res. I want to print the table of a respective number from which starts from 1 to the 10. So we have taken a cnt as a counter which starts from 1 to the 10. Every time when the counter is incrementing, we are multiplying that particular number into counter and we are storing it into a result and we are printing this result. So this CNT will starts with 1. 1 is less than is equal to 10, condition true, begin, result is equal to number into counter. Means what? Number is suppose here 5. So 5 into 1, result is 5. Then %d into %d is equal to %d. So what it will print onto the screen? It will be printing as 5 into 1 is equal to 5. Then a new line character means your control will be on the next line. Again, end of the for loop. From here, control will go to the CNT++. So now the counter becomes 2. Again, after increment, condition part. 2 is less than is equal to 10. Yes. Again, result is equal to number into counter. That is a 5 into 2. It will be, res will be now 10. Again, %d into %d is equal to %d. So here it will print 5 into 2 is equal to 10. After this end of the for loop, from here again control goes to the CNT++. So again, now your CNT will be 3. 3 less than is equal to 10. Yes. Again, res is equal to number into counter. So 3 into 5, that is res is 15. Again, %d into %d is equal to %d. So it will print here 5 into 3 is equal to 15. After this end of the for loop, from here control will go to the CNT++. Now CNT becomes 4. Again, after increment, condition part. 4 is less than is equal to 10. Yes. Begin. Res is equal to number into counter. So now res will be 5 into 4, that is 20. Now, %d into %d is equal to %d. So what it will print here? 5 into 4 is equal to 20. After this end of the for loop, from here again control go to the CNT++. Now CNT becomes 5. After increment, condition part. 5 less than is equal to 10. Yes. Again, res is equal to number into counter. So 5, 5, 25. So res becomes 25. Now print the value. %d into %d is equal to %d. So what it will print? 5 into 5 is equal to 25. After this end of the for loop, from here control goes to the CNT++. Again CNT becomes 6. 6 less than is equal to 10. Yes. Again, result is equal to number into counter, that is 6. Then %d into %d is equal to %d. So here it will print. After this end of the for loop, from here again control go to the CNT++. Now CNT becomes 7. 7 less than is equal to 10. Yes. Result is equal to number into counter. Now res becomes 35. Now %d into %d is equal to %d. So it will be printing 5 into 7 is equal to 35. From here control goes to the end of the for loop. From here it will go to the counter. Why it is looping here? Because your condition is still true. So this loop will be continuing still the counter is greater than 10. Now the counter is 7. So CNT plus plus it will now be, so it becomes 8. After increment, it will go to the condition part. 8 is less than is equal to 10. Yes. Result is equal to number into counter. So now it will become 40. Again, percent D into percent D is equal to percent D. So it will print 5 into is equal to 40. From here, control goes to the end of the for loop. So after end, it will go to the increment part. Now the CNT becomes 9. Again, increment, after increment, a condition 9 is less than is equal to 10. Yes, result is equal to number into counter. So now value of results become 45. Now it will be printing 5 into 9 is equal to 45. After this CNT plus plus, so here CNT becomes 10. 10 is less than is equal to 10. Yes, result becomes number into counter, that is 50. Now it gets printed 5 into 10. So it becomes 50. After the print statement, it will be the end of for. From here again control goes to the CNT plus plus, and now CNT becomes 11. A condition part, 11 less than is equal to 10. No. Now this loop will be terminating. After termination of this loop, end of the function. After end of the function, control will be again going to the place from where we called it. So it went again into the main from where we called it, and then end of the program. So this is how we will be getting a table of a given number by using a function, right? Now there are three types for the function. So first one here is the a function with the no argument and no return type. I can write a function with no argument and a no return type also. For example, we declared a header file, then I define a one function, for example, a display message into bracket void. What I'm doing here, the function return type is void, the function name is display message, and my function is not accepting anything. Means what? Void. Just I want to print a message hello and end. And in the main, we will be calling this function. What we did here, we defined a function with a void return type, and it is also accepting nothing from the user. In the function, we displayed a message, and in the main, we just made a call to this particular function. So here we will get a message hello on a screen. Second type here is a function with no argument and with a return type. Means what? My function will not accept anything, but it is going to return me something. So for example, now I will be defining a function. Return type of my function is integer. Name of my function is suppose a display message, and my function is accepting nothing. In the function, we will be just using a return statement with some integer value. And in the main, we will make a call to the function and a variable to return this return value. So in RES, we will be catching the return value. And here in the main, we will be printing this return value. That's all. So what we did here our function is returning integer, but it is not accepting anything. Has we given any value to the function? No. But my function has a return type, so we returned one integer value, and we catch that value in a RES and we are printing here. So this is one part of the function. So here we printed the result as a 20, right? Third part or a third type of the function is my function with the argument and with no return type. My function will accept certain argument, but it is not going to return any value. So we will see example of this also. So here we have seen one example above, a table of a given number. What we did here? Here our function is returning nothing, but it is accepting one integer value. So this can be the example for it. And a fourth type here is function with the argument and function with the return type also. So for this, we have done one program for the addition, but now we will go for the factorial of a given number to explain this point. So factorial of a given number. So we all know what is a factorial. So if I enter a 4, if I want a 4 factorial, so it should be 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. Right? If I enter a 5, so I want a factorial of 5 as 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, that is 120. So here we will be having a logic where we will be accepting a number from the user. We will pass this number to the function. In the function, we will carry out this multiplication and we will return to the main this result, right? So for this multiplication, you can either use a for loop, you can use a while loop, whichever loop you feel it free, easy, you can use it. So we will go for the program. So what I did here, we will be declaring the function in the main, right? So void main begin. Here I am declaring a function factorial with the return type integer, and my function is going to accept one integer value. Now in the main, what is my part here? To accept the number and to print the number. So I will be requiring the two variables. So int num and to read a variable and the result to print the answer. Read the number from the user. Now we will be having a function called now in the function. Now here we will be calculating the function. So for this you can either use a for loop and whichever loop. So I will be preferring a for loop. So for suppose c is equal to c variable, and to store the result I will be declaring one variable s is equal to 1. Now why I have initialized this s as 1? We want the multiplication. If I want to store the multiplication into some variable, it should be initialized to 1, so that we will get the multiplication. But if I initialize this as 0, my multiplication will be 0. So remember this to declare the resultant value to be 1 for the multiplication. And in the function we will be using a for count is equal to 1, while count is less than is equal to num, and count plus plus. Then here addition s is equal to s into c. What we are making here? We are, if I enter the value of n as 5, factorial of 5, control will go here. Value of num will be stored, n will be stored into the num. Now I am working with the num. I am using this for loop which will take my c variable from 1 to that variable, means 1 to 5. So this particular for loop will be executing 5 number of times. Every time we are multiplying this c to the s, and we are storing the answer into s. Now after this I want to return the result from where I called it. So from where I called it, from here I called the function. So my result will be again going to this place. It will be catching into a res, and in the main we are printing the value. That's it. Now we will execute the program. So if I enter the value as a 5, I will be getting factorial of 5 is equal to 120. Now how we are getting this value? Come to the execution part. In the main we declared two variables, that is n and res. So then afterwards enter a number. We enter the number as n5. Then factorial of n. From here your control will be going to the function part where the value of n will be copied into the num. So here a num variable which will be having a value 5. Then here we declared a variable c and a s which is initialized to 1. Then c is equal to 1, so value of c becomes 1. 1 is less than is equal to 5, condition true. S is equal to s into counter, so s into c, so it becomes value of s becomes again 1. After this your control will be going to c plus plus, so value of c becomes now 2. Again after increment condition part, 2 is less than is equal to 5, condition true. S is equal to s into c, that is value of s becomes 2. Then after this control will be going to the c plus plus, so value of c becomes 3. Again condition part, 3 is less than is equal to 5, yes, s is equal to s into c, so value of s becomes now 6. Again afterwards c plus plus, so value of C becomes 4. Again, after increment, condition part, 4 is less than is equal to 5. Yes, S is equal to S into C. So, value of S becomes 24. Now, after multiplication, C plus plus, value of C becomes 5. Again, condition 5 is less than is equal to 5. Yes, S is equal to S into C. So, 24 into 5, 120. Again, C plus plus, so value of C becomes 6. Again, a condition part, 6 less than is equal to 5. No, this terminates, return S. From here, control will be going to the place from where we called it. Value of S will be stored into the right side variable. Whatever is on right side, whatever is on right side will be assigned to the variable on the left side. So here the value of S will be catched into the variable res, and we are printing the result here. So here what is the result printed? Factorial of %d is equal to %d. So value of n is as it is. So 5 is equal to %d, that is 120. So this is how we can write the function with a return type and which also accept a parameter. So here in C, type of function. So first is there are two types of the function as we have discussed. First one is the library function, and second one is the user defined function, right? Now library function means what? They are called as a built-in function also. For example, a power function which is present in the math.h header file, a square root function which is present in the math header file. We have worked with the string, so string copy function is there. Then moreover, string comparison function is there. So these are the inbuilt functions where they are already there in some header file. We are just implementing them in our program. For example, now here I want to go for a square root of a given number. So to print a square root of the given number, we are having with us a math.h header file. In math.header file, there are multiple number of functions provided which we can use here. So we'll go for the program where we will be printing the square root of a given number. Okay, header file for the square root function is a math.h. Then stdro.h header file. Now in the main, we will be using a variable to accept a number and to store the result. Now the square root can be in the fractional part also, so we are declaring that particular variable as a double. Enter a number, message will be printed. Read a number from the user as it is a double, so long float, comma, name, variable name. We read the value. Now I want to calculate the result. So result is equal to a function is sqrt into bracket that variable. We calculated the square root and now print the square root. Sorry, Now I want to put here the restrictions to print the value. So there are certain width operator which are used here. First of all, let's see with the long float. Compile the program. We will run it. Okay, if I enter the number, the square root will be printed. Now, what I want here, after decimal point, 6 decimal places are printed here. So, I want to put the restrictions on this particular number also. So, here in C, a width operator is used with this character specifications. If I enter here 0.2f, so after 0.2 decimal places will be printed. So this is how we are getting the result, right? So these are what? These are inbuilt or library functions which we are directly implementing in our program. User-defined functions we have seen now. So what are these user-defined functions? Second part, we learned in the user-defined functions that key functions that the programmer creates are called the user-defined functions. So it can be improved and modified according to the need of the programmer. What is the meaning of this statement? Now, for example, this program. Here we have displayed the square root of a given number. But when I use this function, this particular function which is inbuilt is having its own restrictions with it. Meaning what? This particular function will be accepting a double value and will be also returning a double value. So naturally I have to declare those variable as a double. But now what is my requirement? I want to go for finding the square root for the integer. So can I use here the integer part? I have to declare it as a double also. So whatever I want, those particular modifications can be done by the as per the need of the programmer. So we use the user defined function. So this particular function will be having some advantage. So first one is changeable function can be modified as per the need. Then the code of these functions is reusable in other program also. Third one, these functions are easy to understand, are easy to debug, and are easy to maintain. So we prefer the user defined function. Next, parameter passing in the function. Parameter passing part we have seen in the above program. When we call a function, we pass certain parameter into this. For example, consider the factorial program which we have done here. I'm just copying this program for the explanation. What we did here, the main part is totally different from the function part. Whatever we declare in the main is undefined in the function. Whatever we declare in the function is undefined in the main. Then how to pass those particular parameters from function to the main and from main to the function? So we go for the concept of parameter passing in the function. Here we accepted a number from the user. We passed that particular number. When I pass this variable n, it will be going to the function. The variable n will be copied, underline the statement, the variable n will be copied to the num variable. So here this n is known as a actual parameter. And the variable in the function is known as a formal parameter. Always remember, the copy of an actual parameter is going to be passed to the formal parameter. Right? So here, depending upon this actual parameter and formal parameter, there are two ways of passing the argument to the function. So here, we can pass argument to the function in two ways. First one is call by value and second one is call by reference. Now this is a function topic, so here we will be focusing to the call by value only. When we will go for the pointers, at that time we will see a call by reference. Now what is a call by value? Passing a parameter in this method, it copies the values from the actual parameter to the formal parameter. This is called as call by value. When I pass a copy of a variable from actual to the formal, this is a call by value concept. So in this case, what will happen as a result? The changes made to the formal parameter, or we can say that changes made inside the function, do not reflect in the actual parameter. Right? For example, we will go for a program where we will swap the two numbers. So we will be doing this program by a call by value. Now I will be defining a function where return type of my function is void. Name of my function is swap, and I will be having two parameters which I want to swap here. Swapping means what? Interchanging the values of two variables. This is the function part. In the main, we will be accepting two numbers which we want to swap. So here I declare the variable x and y. I will be accepting two numbers from the user. Now we will be calling a function swap of x comma y. After the call to this function, your control will be going to the function part. Value of x and y will be respectively copying into a and b. Means what? Value of x will be going to the respective a. Value of y will be going to the respective b in the sequence the way they are passed. In the function, I will be taking one variable temp where we will be swapping. We will use this variable for the swapping. Temporarily, I will store the value of a into temp. Then I will be storing the value of b into a. And now in the b, I will be storing temp. So we swap the values. Now I want to print those values onto the screen. So what I do here in the main, after reading the variable, I will be just printing for our reference before swapping. And after swapping, we will be again printing this message. Now check what happens. I enter the two numbers 4 and 5. What is happening here? Before swapping 4 and 5, after swapping also 4 and 5. What is happening here? So always remember, when I copy the variable to the function, the value of x and y is as it is where it is. We are working with a and b, not with the x and y. So the value of x and y remains same only. Now what we will do? We will print the value in the function. What has happened? Now they got the change. Got the meaning? Here, always remember, whichever variable you declared in the main are valid to this particular block only. They are not accessed outside the block. Whichever variable you declared in the function is local to this particular block. They are not accessed outside this block. So what we do here, we make the use of parameter passing here. So this is a call by value concept where we are passing the copy of an actual parameter to the formal parameter. Right? So we will be going to some exercise now here. So let's see some exercises. The first exercise which we will be going for the C function is, I want to calculate the area of circle by using a function which uses a function to calculate the area of cylinder by using another function. So the program is area of circle and cylinder using the function. Now, to calculate the area of circle and area of cylinder, we will be requiring two functions here. So return type of my function is float. Function is area circle into bracket. I will be accepting a radius as a float. declared one function. Again second function area cylinder, which will be also accepting a float, radius and of integer height. Then we will be also having some variables for the area, for the r and so on. Now read the radius from the user. Right? Now here I want to calculate the area of circle. So area is equal to area circle into bracket. I want to pass the radius. Printf. What we are doing here, we are just accepting the value and we are printing the result. But other way, all the calculation will be done in the function part. So /n. This is for the circle. And now we will go for the cylinder. Radius we have read. Now I want to read the height. So printf. And now we call the area cylinder. Now print it. This all we did in the, sorry, I forgot to put the main. Okay, this all we did in the main. Now what is my part here? Now I want to go for writing the function for the respective area circle and for the respective area cylinder. Now area circle. Return type of function is float, area circle into bracket float, suppose r. Here this particular r which we are passing here is different from this r. This is a actual parameter, this is the formal parameter. We are passing this r into this formal r. Here I declare one variable. I want a pi value also, so we will be using one constant pi. Now here I want to declare the, sorry, I want to calculate the area. So directly either way of either declaring the variable use in the return statement only. So here pi into radius into radius. So what we did here, we calculated the area of circle and now we will go for the cylinder part. When this return statement is being executed, it will be entering to the place from where it is called. The value will be stored into the variable area and we printed it. Now it will read the height from the user. We enter the height and now area cylinder. cylinder 2 pi and into h. So 2 pi r square h. No? Right. Now, this will be going to the place from where it is called, and we are printing this. We'll compile this program. Radius we entered 3, area we got, now height suppose 4, and we got the area of cylinder also. So this is the first assignment where using a function we will be calculating the area of circle and area of cylinder also, right? Now the second assignment, here I want to write a function to count the white spaces present in a given string. So here we will be writing a function, for example, is white space, which will be returning 1 if its character parameter is a space, tab, or a new line character. The program will accept the character till the user enters end of the file and will count the number of white spaces in the line. So program to count number of white space using function. Okay, now here void main, return type of my function is integer, because the question is what it should return 1 if there is a space character or a new line, whatever is if it is having a space, a new line, a tab into it. So return type is integer, name of my function is white space. Into bracket I want to pass the character ch, char ch. To count we will be using one count variable. Now enter a message, enter the character and type Control Z to terminate. So what is this we have seen? I will be uploading this video for working with the characters in the C. You might check it afterwards. Now while we are reading one character here, so this will be up to where? Up till we get end of the file. Control Z is a termination character for that particular statement. So while ch is equal to getChar function not equal to end of the file. Now I will be checking if that particular character is a white space or not. So we will be calling here the function to check it. So is white space of that particular CH. So no need of we will be okay. Now when this if a loop is being executed, here it will go to the function part. In the function, if there is a white space or there is a tab or there is a new line character, the count should get increment, right? And then printf and end of the program. Now we will be working in the function part. In the function, whichever character you pass through the getChar function, what will happen here? Suppose I entered this statement as in the run program. So first time ch is equal to getChar. So p will be copied to the ch. Is white space of p will be called. Control will go to the whites here in this function part. Now in the function, whichever character we read, we are going to check it. So we are putting it into a switch case. What they have said us to check for the space, to check for the tab, and to check for the new line. Space means what? Single quote space we will check. Tab means what? /t we will be checking, and new line means what? /n we will be checking. So we'll write the switch case for all these three. So switch of ch, case a single quote. If it is there, again case if there is a tab space, case if there is a new line character. For all these three, I want to return 1, and for default, I want to return 0. Default will be called when all these three cases are false. That's all in the switch case. We'll compile it first. We will run it. This is the statement and I enter Control Z. So total number of white spaces in this whole string will be 1, 2, C. After C, 1 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, new line 6, and again one new line 7. So there are 7 white space in the program. So this is the program. What we did here, whichever statement you entered, one by one statement will be copied by getChar into a ch. That particular ch by the function, we will passing it into the function. Here this particular ch will be checking with the space, with the /t, and with the /n. If any of this particular case is true, it is going to return 1, else it is going to return 0. When it is going to return 1, so here we are checking it. If it is true, means if we get a value 1, counter will be incremented. If we get the value 0, counter will not be incremented. It will be again going to the getChar function. This is how we are reading single character, and we are checking it whether it is from this 3 part. If it is, 1 will be returned, and if not, 0 will be returned. So this is how we counted it and we printed it onto the screen. Next, here we are going to write a function. The name of the function will be is_even, which will accept an integer as a parameter. So here and it will return 1 if the number is even and 0 otherwise. Now use this function in main to accept the n numbers and check if they are even or odd, right? So here we will be writing the function is_even for this. And they have said us to accept n numbers and check for those numbers. So if I enter the value of n as 10, so I have to check from 0 to 10. So if number is even, print number is even, right? Okay. So first of all, we will write a function. So here I am not going to declare the function. I am going to directly write the function. So return type of my function is integer. They told us to write the function name as is_even. It is going to accept the parameter is number. Here just we are going to check if it is divided by 2 and remainder is 0, right? So return whichever value we get, we will be returning this to the main, and there we will be checking it. So return what? If that particular number mod 2 equal to 0. If yes, means question mark. If yes, 1 will be returned, and if no, 0 will be returned. What is this? This is a conditional operator for the return statement. Okay. Now in the main, here you can also go for using a simple variable also, where you can store this value and you can return. Either way you can go. The simple way, whichever you want, you can use it. Now in the main, here we declare one variable. This value we are going to accept it from the user. Right? Now we will be starting with the for loop. For this I will take a variable I. Well, variable I starts with, for example, 0. It should be less than, or it should work till n and I plus plus. Okay. Now I want to go for the 10 numbers. So those particular 10 numbers you have to read from the user, right? So begin and end. Here printf enter number. Okay. Now if is even of that particular number, then I want to print %d is even, and we will print that variable. Else %d is odd. Print that variable. And that's all. We will compile it. We will run it. So for example, if I elements 6 I want to go for, enter 4, it is even. 7, it is odd. 2, even. 1, odd. 4. Okay, so 6 number it will read and it will check that number is even or odd. So this is the program using function for this. Next, we will write a function which will be accepting a character and a integer n. And we will display the next n characters from that series. So what is my program? Write a function which accept the character and integer n as a parameter, and it will display the next n characters. Okay, let's go for this. Function return type is void. Name of my function is display next character. Here I will be passing a start character and number of characters to print to the function. Okay. Then here we will be going with a for loop for I equal to 1. I want to print n number of next characters after the start char. So I less than is equal to the variable n I plus plus. And printf if I enter the start character as capital A, next character will be B. So the ASCII value of A is capital A is 65. I want capital B, so it will be 66. So plus 1 I am doing here and we are printing. Or you can go for plus I also, right? Yes, I you should go for. Okay. And in the main, input character and a limit. Read the value. And enter the number of characters. Now call the function. we are passing this input character and limit to a function. From here, control will go to the function part. If I enter the input character as capital A and limit as a 4, so it should go for A, B, C, and D. Start character will be A and N will be 4. I starts with 1. So here, if you execute this program, so here input char limit start char N and a I variable. The input character you entered A, limit you entered as 4, and start character. Now when you call the function, this will be going to the respective these variables, which are the formal parameters. So start char becomes A, N becomes 4, and now begin of the for loop, which starts with 1. 1 less than is equal to 4, condition true. %C start char means A plus I means what? A plus 1 means what? 65 plus 1, it is 66. So B will be printed onto the screen. After this, I becomes 2. Again, 2 less than is equal to 4. Yes. Start character plus 2 means what? 65 plus 2, that is 67. C will be printed and so on. We'll compile this program. We'll run it. So character A, limit is 4. So you will get next 4 characters from the series. So this is how we can write a function program for this. Then we will be going for a program. So write a function is a prime which accept an integer as a parameter, and it will return 1 if the number is a prime and 0 otherwise. Then use this function to print or to display first 10 prime number. Okay, so we'll go for this program. We all know what is a prime. When a number is divisible by 1 and itself, it is a prime. So I want to go for the number for example, from 1 to 10 we will go. So each and every number, to check whether it is a prime or not, we will be dividing that particular number not with the 1 and itself. So we will be dividing that number from 2 to n minus 1. And if it gets divisible, we will be directly terminating that loop and returning 0. But if it is not divisible, then that particular number will be prime and we are going to display it onto the screen. So here, first of all, we will write a function. So name of the function. Now here we want to return a value. So return type of my function will be int, is prime of certain number. We are going to pass to it. Now here I want to return 0 when that particular number is 1, or that particular number is less than 0 also. I don't want to perform the prime checking for this. I want to return directly 0. So that condition also will check here. So if that particular number is less than is equal to 1, then I want to return 0. After that, now we will be start checking with 2 to n minus 1. So for this, I will be taking one variable I. Now, for variable I, which starts with 2, it should be going up to that particular number less than n less than number and I plus plus. Every time we are going to check whether that particular number is divisible by 2 and remainder is 0. If it is 0, we want to return 0. Else return 1. End of the formula. In the main, we will be starting with count is equal to 1 for the first 10 numbers. Then I want to okay, we'll put a message while count is less than is equal to 10. And we want to start with certain number for the checking. So for that also we'll take one number. We'll start with 2. One is not, one itself is will be not, we don't want to print 1, right? They are not the prime, 1 and 0. Okay, now we started with the 2. Now here I will be calling a function for this. So if is a prime of that particular number. If it is prime, we will be printing it here. And after this, count should also be get incremented for the next number. Let's see. Here we want this num in the while loop also. We are getting first 6. We want first 10 numbers. So count is 1. Okay, so we are getting first 10. Actually, I have to put this into the loop because it should continue for the 10 numbers, right? So we got here first 10 prime numbers. So this is how we can print the 10. Next, we will write a function for the power, which will be, we want to print actually a Taylor series. Taylor series means what? X cube divided by 3 factorial plus x raised to 5 divided by 5 factorial plus x raised to 7 divided by 7 factorial. So we'll go for this Taylor series by using a function. Let's see. So here we want to write a function power. Then this will calculate x raised to y. Then we will also write another function which will calculate n factorial, and then using the for loop we will calculate the sum of first n terms. So this is our task. So here we'll go for the program. So here first of all for the factorial, and we will use a power function for x raised to y. So we will be having a math.h header file for this. So declare the header files. Now a function factorial, which will be returning an integer, and we are going to find the factorial of an n. Here we want to print a result into some variable. For we'll taking one variable I. So for I is equal to 1, I less than is equal to n, I plus plus. Then result is equal to result into I. So we got the factorial and return this res. We will be using this result to calculate the Taylor series. So this is one function, and for the printing those Taylor series, we will be using one function double. We will have to pass the two parameters.